I haven't done this in a while. Yo, we back once again with another movie review, man. This one is gonna be interesting. Cause I walked out the theater not happy, and this one really got my jimmies rolling. This one really got my jimmies rolling, man. If you haven't read the title already, I'm going to be reviewing Him, starring Marlon Wayans, and I don't know the other co-star's name. That's not important to this review, but anyway, I just came out the theater not too long ago, and I'm here to give my thoughts. Now, when I first saw the trailer, I was quite intrigued because I thought that this movie was going to tell a deeper story of what goes on behind the scenes of football and what it takes to really be successful. You know, a lot of people always talk about, the Illuminati or the secret circles inside of the entertainment industry, and I thought that this movie was going to portray that in a very, very special way, and to give a very, very special message as far as what does it really take to be successful in football. However, that's not the case with this movie. This movie is more focused on showing you random ass visuals and just montages that don't make sense, random sequences that don't make sense. Players just show up, or I should say characters in a movie. You go from one scene and then the next scene they're in some other place, and you're just like, wait, how does this scene correlate with the last scene that we just left off? Like, what's really just the overall pacing and the editing in this movie is just all over the place, and it's very, very jarring, and it's very, very bizarre in the worst of ways. There's really no storytelling here. The main focus is just random ass montages with these bizarre random shit just thrown at you, and you're just like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't know what the hell is happening. There's really no progression, no character growth in the movie. There's really no character depth really like that. There's things set up, but that's not really the focus of this movie. Like I said before, the main focus is the visuals, and the visuals are very, very weird, and it's not pleasant in any sort of way. It's just random shit thrown at you, and you're just left like, what the fuck? And then by the end of it, you just get pissed because you wasted almost 2 hours watching a goddamn visual vomit fest. That's basically what this movie is, just a visual vomit. I will say one good thing about this movie is Marlon Wayans. I think he was the shining star in this movie. He really played the role of Isaiah White really well. His character is more like a Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. He is a star QB in his league. He's won 8 championships, and he's on the verge of getting out. And you have this new up-and-coming prospect from college, Cam, I believe his name is Cam Wade. He's like the number 1 top QB in his class, and he's supposed to be like the next guy up, the next him. Hence the title of the movie. My main gripe with this movie is that the football aspect is more so kind of it's almost like a distraction. Like, the movie don't want to focus on the football. It's more so in the background. And what the movie tends to focus on is just shit that really makes the movie a lot worse. And I really felt like they could have really told this story in a much better way and still showed you the bizarre visuals of secret circles and, bringing that whole Illuminati aspect in there, but really showing you the real life of football, like what goes on in the surface, what we see on TV. We see, QBs coming up from college, and then they got to go through the combine, then they go through the draft. Like, we see that, but, there's things that happen behind the scenes that you really don't know and really don't see. And I thought that that's what the movie was going to portray. It was going to show you the, you know, the real down and dirty of how, you know, certain powers that be really play. But however, they didn't do that. Instead, you know, you have the main star of the movie, which is the Cam Wade guy, goes to this training facility of the Saviors, which is the team that Marlon plays for. He's the veteran QB that's pretty much on his way out. He's on his last leg. And he goes to this training facility to train for 7 days. And, you know, it goes through each day, but it doesn't really mesh well. Like, you know, he's supposed to be going through this training sequence in order for him to get signed to this team, but there's really no, like, progression as he's training in this training facility for the Saviors. Everything is just completely random. You just go from scene to scene to scene with bizarre visuals, crazy ass montages, and just random shit just thrown at you. And then we go to the next scene, and then, like, when we go to the next scene, they end up in some random place that doesn't even make sense. It's just like, wait, what is really happening here? And that's basically what this movie is. It doesn't really have, like, a message. It doesn't really have, I guess you could say the theme is like sacrifice and, you know, what it really takes to be the GOAT. But the way how they tell this story, the way how it's executed is done very, very poorly. This is one of the worst films this is the worst film I've seen this year. I'm just going to say it. I haven't seen that much movies this year. Sorry for the background noise. I'm outside. But I haven't seen much movies this year. But this one is definitely the worst. It doesn't even come close. And it's one of the worst movies I've seen since God knows how long. This is just a bad movie. I'm just like drawing a blank. Like I said before, I think the part that really pisses me off is that I wanted to see the football aspect shine more. That should have been more of the forefront. You know, they should have shown Cam Wade going through his progression and going through, you know, the dealings of having a concussion, you know, while, you know, dealing with his father dying, and, you know, his father's dream was to see his son play in the league. They had the setup there. They had the pieces there, but the way how they executed it, the way how they wanted to tell it was just completely off the rails, you know? And it just sucks because, like I said before, Marlon's role in this movie was really good. He was the shining point in this film. However, I feel like his role was completely wasted. I feel like they could have really showed the relationship between him and Cam, him being, you know, the veteran QB on his way out, and then you have the new up-and-coming QB coming in and showing them actually playing football, going through that progression of playing football, like what we see on TV, like, you know, week to week, and then you see the post-press conferences, and then you see the behind the scenes of them, you know, kind of like almost clashing in the locker room. And you see that in the movie, but the way how they do it, it has nothing to really do with football. It just comes out of nowhere. Because all throughout the movie, Marlon, he's supposed to be like the mentor to this new QB coming up. But the way how it's done in a very stupid way. And then towards the end, it's like, okay, now I got to go against you out of nowhere, you know. I don't know, man. I know this review is all over the place, but this movie is all over the place. And if you haven't seen it yet, if you was interested, please stay the fuck away from this movie. I'm dead serious. Please stay away from this movie. Don't even bother watching on streaming. If you're curious to see what this movie is about, go and watch a review on YouTube or something, because you're gonna waste almost 2 hours of your time watching this bullshit. There's really no deeper message here. All the little creepy shit that they try to do doesn't really make any sense. It's very stupid. And yeah, and the more and more I talk about this movie, the more and more mad I'm gonna be. So I don't really have much to say other than that. This movie is just one big distraction. In the trailers, they show you football, but when you actually see it, it has really nothing to do with football. It's completely, it's like you're taking drugs throughout this entire movie. Like, you feel like you just took like some dimethyltryptamine and you're just watching this shit play out, and you're just like, am I watching a movie or am I like hallucinating? I guess that's what they were trying to go for, like one big acid trip. But yeah, man, this movie is not it. This is not it at all. And man, I really hate that I saw this movie, man, because holy shit, this movie is bad as ever. So I think I'm gonna end it there. I don't have anything else to say. Pretty sure I'm gonna think of something else while I turn this video off, but I don't want to drag it on too much. But till my next one, man, I'm gonna be out of here. One later.